Getting accepted to medical school might just be one of the biggest accomplishments for you so far. However, there are a few things you'll need to know about how acceptances work so you don't accidentally mess up and end up with a different offer than what you wanted. Acceptances work slightly different for each application service, so we will go through them one at a time. Starting off with AMCAS, which might be the most simple. Basically, any time after October, schools can start sending out invitations for acceptance to whatever students have already had their interviews. And there are 4 different decisions a school can make. You can be accepted, rejected, waitlisted, or deferred. Waitlisted just means you are put on a list where if someone else gives up his or her position, you might be given that spot. Deferred just means the school hasn't really made a decision yet and you'll have to wait a little longer. Now, whenever you are accepted, it will usually come in the form of an email notification telling you to log on to your secondary application portal where you can put a deposit down to reserve your place. And you aren't just limited to one. You can actually hold on to multiple acceptance offers all the way until the end of April, which gives you time to think about which school might be best for you to go to. And if you only get one acceptance, then you don't even have to worry about that. Once April 30th rolls around, you will have 2 options in your portal. You can either accept, plan to enroll, which is good for waitlisted students because should you be accepted, you will enroll there, but your application with other schools isn't necessarily withdrawn yet. It's like not putting all your eggs into one basket just yet. The other option is commit to enroll, which is binding, and it is you agreeing to attend that school. When you do this, you will be required to remove your application to all the other schools and inform them you will not be attending. It is highly encouraged that students choose this option if they know what school they want so that they give waitlisted students the fairest chance. AA Comus isn't much different, but there are a few things you should know. Rather than waiting until October, you can actually receive offers anytime after an interview is conducted. And just like AMCAS, you will be able to hold multiple offers. However, to reserve an offer, you will have to make a deposit within a time period of receiving said offer. You can see here the timeline for accepted students and how long of a grace period you are given to make a deposit and reserve your spot. May 1st is the cutoff day where DO schools are required to report the names of incoming students, so prior to May 1st, you must select which school you plan to attend and withdraw your applications at all other schools. TMDSAS, on the other hand, is very different, so all of you Texas residents, listen up. TMDSAS does a match day, which means everyone will find out the same day what decision the school has made with your application. In 2024, applicants had to have their schools ranked by February 2nd, and match day was February 16th, but those specific days might change year to year, so visit this link to see what specific day you need to keep an eye for on your cycle. Okay, so let's go over how the match works. On your TMDSAS primary application, you will have the chance to rank all of the schools you were interviewed at. When match day rolls around, whatever highest school on your ranking that offers you an acceptance, that's the school where your application sticks. Every school ranked below that one will have your application automatically withdrawn. However, if you have some schools ranked above whichever one you got accepted at and you were waitlisted at them or something, those applications won't actually be withdrawn and you will still have a chance to wait and see what happens. After match day, schools will begin doing something similar to AMCAS where they will start accepting, waitlisting, and rejecting other students on a rolling basis. If you are accepted into a school higher on your ranking after match day, you are allowed to hold multiple offers until April 30th. So, prior to April 30th, you will have to select a single offer. May 15th is the last day that schools can offer spots to waitlisted students. So please keep in mind that it is a huge gamble if you put all of your eggs into a waitlisted basket on April 30th when you have other acceptance offers you are giving up. Past May 15th, if you weren't given a spot, then you will have to think about reapplying. But for now, let's go over some examples on what match day will look like just to help you visualize it. Let's say we have 3 students that all applied to School A, School B, and School C. And let's say that they rank them accordingly. Okay, pretend that student 1 is accepted into her top choice of School A. When match day happens, that means that her application to School B and School C will automatically be withdrawn since they are ranked lower, and student 1 will only be left with an acceptance into her top ranking school. Now, student 2 is accepted to school B, but waitlisted at school A. In this case, school C will be withdrawn, but school A's application will still remain active. In the case that school A offers a spot to student 2 after match day, he will then have multiple offers to choose from and will have to make a selection before April 30th. Now, what happens if this student is still on the waitlist for school A on April 30th? Well, student 2 can just keep the acceptance in school B and give up on school A, or he can withdraw his acceptance into school B and gamble on school A giving him a spot before May 15th. But if he does that and the school doesn't offer him a spot, then this student won't even be going to medical school, despite the fact he was accepted to school B. Finally, let's say student 3 either doesn't get an acceptance or is waitlisted at some of his options. Well, if May 15th rolls around and none of those have turned into an acceptance, then this student will not be able to enroll into medical school this cycle and must reapply next year, assuming they didn't get into somewhere out of state either. There will be an entire video dedicated to reapplying, but for now, these are just the rules of how acceptances work. It is kind of unnecessarily complicated, especially for TMDSAS, but now that you know how it all works, you should be able to understand what offers will mean to you when contacted by the schools and what options you have.